Hello everyone and welcome back to Heaven's Secret 2 Season 1 Episode 8. The Horsemen's Tournament. Who will win and who will lose at the cost of their own life? I'm sorry. Apparently we're playing with lives again. Everyone fights for what they believe in. And in the manner one thinks is right. But what if the fight only leads to death and the dawn never comes? What should I do? Fight for what you think is right. Fight for things that you believe in. Fight for your own principles, for your own beliefs. Episode 8, the tournament. I know what's happening. Mimi quickly approached me without breaking eye contact. What are you talking about? I backed away as if I were expecting a blow, not out of fear but rather from bewilderment. What's going on? She's so sad. You tell me. You started acting like everyone else. Ooh. Now I understand what's going on. I thought, I don't know, that she said she knows everything depending on plague. But now, okay, I understand. Like, she's sick of seeing us ignore her. She came close to me and touched my cheek. Tell me. Oh, wow, Mimi. Oh, the love Mimi has for us. That's so cute. I love her with my entire heart. The thing is, I felt as if the entire room had filled with a blanketing warmth. Mimi looked at me with affection in her eyes. I wanted to follow those eyes without looking back, without asking questions. I grabbed her wrist, squeezed it so tightly that she winced and pushed her away from me. Were you just trying to charm me? If I really wanted to, you wouldn't realize it. Yes. She looked around the room as if she had no right to do so. So, what is it? She looks shattered. Just tell her at this point. I can't tell you. Why? Because I promised Eliza. Yeah. Hearing her mother's name, Mimi flinched slightly, froze, and then looked at me inquiringly. After a moment, she relaxed her shoulders and, giving up, said, Okay. You need to leave, Mimi. If Blake finds out that you are here, you've become more cautious. I don't have a choice. Mimi nodded and went to the door, but before leaving, she said quietly, Tell me that not all is lost. All is not lost, Mimi. I felt my throat constrict from an obsessive fear that the hope was illusory and it would dissipate like smoke once the horsemen snuffed out the only candle illuminating the path to freedom. But those words were enough to make Mimi smile again. Thank you. She just wants to feel hope. Like, at this point, plague is destroying the hope for everyone. And someone just wants to hear that there is a way out. The door closed behind her and I was left alone with my thoughts again. Mimi. I couldn't take my eyes off Miss Lena's trembling hands. Again. What horrible thing is she gonna ask us to do now? The tremor intensified with each passing second of silence until she could no longer calm herself enough to speak. Gerald squeezed her fingers and hid them under the table so that the students wouldn't notice her fear. You have another task. Of course we do. His tranquil, resolute voice calmed the darting glances of the immortals and gave Miss Lena courage. War has set the earth on a path of destruction. Uh-oh. I'll have to send people to their deaths. I'm so sorry if I remember Heaven's Secret. Where we could choose what to do. And they're saying, yeah, you have something new to do. You have to send people to their deathbeds today. Yay. Incite hatred in them. Incite hatred in them. I am so weak. The students were bolder when there were no horsemen around. Many of them spoke at once, pleading with and threatening them, as if Gerald and Miss Elena were parents and they were children hoping to sway their minds. Some said that they didn't want to take part in the apocalypse, that such actions would only destroy the whole world, and that the scales had already been tipped to one side. Gerald slammed his fist on the table. The students shuddered and fell silent. Do you think we don't understand this? I'm afraid we have no choice, Miss Selena. The doors opened and War entered. How's it going, sir? He crossed the auditorium in a few steps and stopped in front of us, his hands clasped behind his back in a military manner. Sir. But he was grinning at the same time, as if it were all just a fun game to him. Of course, his name is War. The pathetic mortals think too highly of themselves. They think they understand the law of the universe and have managed to get closer to having the power of the gods. They curse diseases, interfere with the laws of nature, and yet remain the same animals they have always been. You don't have to call us all out like that, War. Don't you want to put them in their place, to show them how insignificant, pathetic, and weak they are? You do know that you're talking to an unclaimed, right? You don't even need to use real power to destroy humanity. Thank you. People do that on their own. I love when his eyes are glowing. He literally reminds me of Cleo from Legacies. As soon as she had an idea, her eyes would glow in this yellow. I love this. So let's watch from the front row. I leaned back in my chair as if trying to escape the horseman's influence, but his power, like an expanding sphere, filled the entire room. I heard someone whisper words of agreement. He's right. I didn't know if they were trying to convince themselves so that it wouldn't be so frightening to go against harmony, or if they really bought War's speech, but I felt uneasy. Get ready, meet me at the vortex in 10 minutes. Do what is required, be careful. War grinned, looking at the students' faces, and then left the room as abruptly as he'd come in. Plague and War both loved to make an entrance. I scattered things all over the room in panic, looking for something more suitable to wear. My nervousness finally reached such heights that I could no longer contain it. I screamed in anger, tore the first scrap of cloth that I came across, and threw it aside. My chest heaved, my blood burned with rage that I was unable to find an outlet. Is this War's influence? I can't remember the last time I felt this angry. Realizing that the emotion, although reasonable, didn't belong to me, I finally calmed down and chose an outfit. Ooh. Okay. Ew. Honestly, I like this the most. Go, Huntress. Go off. Maybe I should just... No, stop at this one. Honestly, this is nice, but honestly, I don't like any of these haircuts. I don't like any of these haircuts. Hold up. Just a second. I fell in love with this hairstyle and I'm gonna keep this one. Stop at this one. You're beautiful, let's go. I love this new vortex. I have to admit it. It looks beautiful. Many immortals were gathered at the vortex. All of them, including me, were prepared to fight for the Horsemen, bringing Judgment Day closer. I need to play along with War. I'm going to be forced to act on their behalf anyway, so it might as well be voluntary. Even though we all know that it's not voluntary. War waited until everyone had gathered, and then smiling so sincerely that I was seized with horror, he jumped into the vortex. What, is he gonna be the leader of the army of immortals? Don't be afraid, you'll like it. Are you talking to me? Everyone follow him quickly. One after another, the students dove after him. I tried to find Eddie, Sammy, Mimi, and other familiar faces, but Gerald pushed me in before I spotted anyone. We locked eyes. Mine were bewildered and his were calm but knowing. Then everything became shrouded in a haze of clouds. Oh my god. Blood and soot scented the air. Fire flashed, screams of rage erupted. I expected to see an army, to be somewhere in the trenches, but something completely different appeared before my eyes. There were burning, dilapidated buildings, overturned cars, broken shop windows, and people. Ordinary people, with pieces of rebar, knives, and even guns. Hateful grimaces contorted the mortals' faces. They screamed, spitting with rage, and stabbed others who were just as bloodthirsty. War slowly walked past the fighting, but the immortals didn't seem to see him. However, as soon as the horseman was nearby, the people began to fight even more furiously. So it is his power. He's capable to make people be angry. He turned to us, paused, and shouted over the sound of the massacre. I will make you my guides. Touch the mortals and let them reveal all the darkness hidden within them. Okay. Honestly, his powers are interesting. He clapped his hands and a vibration flashed through our bodies. I staggered, hesitantly looking at my hands, feeling the horseman's power with my whole body. Did he just give everyone a bit of his powers? I couldn't help laughing, and at the same time I felt horrified. It was so nice to once again feel, if not omnipotent, then close to it. The hatred seemed to penetrate my skin and was spreading through my veins, saturating my entire body. And like plague who pushed you into an abyss of despair, war made you throw yourself into a maelstrom of eagerness with your own hands, confident that it was the right thing to do. You hated and you were proud of it. And that was the worst part of it all, losing yourself, drowning in emotions imposed from without. It didn't matter who your anger was directed at. First, it destroyed you, which was, of course, the ultimate goal. It must help the horseman. I'll win the battle for him to win the war. Was it possible to beat him at his own game? It was his element. Keep on remembering Teen Wolf. A divine move. I cast aside my doubts and went to the mortals. I moved quickly without stopping to see the consequences of my touch. I moved from one person to the next like a whirlwind. It was like I became a different person. It was a bit easier each time until I realized I was standing still watching a fight between two humans. A fight that I personally ignited with a light touch. Someone's worried shout brought me back from the trance. Who is it? Sammy! Oh, Sammy, it's been a while since I've seen your beautiful ass. Sorry. Simona. Sammy and Addie stood in the middle of the chaos. They were doing as they were told, but without such fervor, without any kind of pleasure. This isn't... You impress me? Me? War stood next to me silently, oh my god, there are really these people that just have the capability to just show out of nowhere. You can't even see them coming and they're literally next to you. Where did he come from? War stood next to me silently, as if he had appeared out of thin air. But for some reason, he didn't look pleased. There was a kind of sadness and weariness in his expression. As if reading my thoughts, he gestured at the blazing city and said, "To be honest, it exhausts me. Something inside me delights in the prospect of carnage, and I feed on and enjoy it. But in the end, I feel... devastation." Right. Aww. Look at his expression. So the horseman has become hostage to his own power. War is becoming more open with you. Poor son. I have the feeling that he's my son. Honestly, I did talk about this in the last episode. No one is completely evil and no one is completely good. He actually reminds me of someone that is damaged. He's not evil, but he's damaged. Because no one is born evil and no one is born good. You're always both because you have evil and good personality traits. He shows more evil personality traits. That's why I call him damaged. Like, he's damaged, but that doesn't mean that he's damaged beyond compare. Like, you can fix him, as in not fix him, like he's not broken, but you can help him become better, like a better person. Ward drew back and walked away, taking the human's hatred with him. But we had to continue, so I gritted my teeth and touched the next person. I looked at Sammy and Addie, and we smiled sadly at each other, trying to be supportive. In this situation, you can't be supportive. When the vortex appeared above my head, I stared at it thoughtlessly, feeling the sensation of someone else's blood flowing down my face and hands and soaking into my clothes. I didn't have the strength to spread my wings or even grasp what was going on. Simona, it's over. Addie took my hand and pulled me along. I followed him dutifully. Let me just be a little depressed, okay? As if in a dream, I staggered across the yacht and darted around the corner, hiding from everyone. I pressed close to the wall, trying to catch my breath. Faces distorted by hatred appeared before me as they killed each other with a mad gleam in their eyes, and I had pushed them to do it. I pressed my hand over my mouth. Oh my God, and I liked it. It was his power, his influence. My stomach twisted from the smell of blood, which couldn't be washed away with a shower or covered with perfume. I doubled over in a fit of nausea. There were tears in my eyes. I was shaking as if my body was infected and trying to rid itself of the toxin. Oh my God, I feel bad for her. I moved to wipe my mouth, but stopped halfway at the side of an outstretched handkerchief. Who is it? Oh, of course my soulmate is here, and stared at Malbonte. Honestly, Malbonte's always there when you really need him. He stood motionless, looking down at me. Yes, I'm not happy with doing bad things. Are you that surprised? He looked at me so coldly in that moment, like he was holding a gun and not a piece of cloth, as if my life was in his power. Of course. Although he didn't need a weapon to kill me, that. He twisted his wrist, slightly reminding me of the handkerchief. That's so funny. Literally, I just keep on imagining that, him like turning his wrist, literally. First, he like just holds it like this as if he doesn't even want to give us the handkerchief, and then he like turns his wrist around so that his hand literally just shows his open palm, and there is lying the handkerchief, and he's like, take it now. I hesitantly took it. Thank you. And we're blushing. Hypocrite. Like she was a hypocrite in episode 2. Why? You can say something, you know. I want to hear your voice as well. He turned his back to me with no intention of having a conversation. You literally saw me feeling horrible and just said, okay, I'm gonna give you a handkerchief, and now you're gonna leave me hanging. Where do you think you're going? I called out to him. What kind of question is that? I called out to him. Where are you going? Malbonte. Addressing him so belatedly seemed strange, even personal, and I immediately fell silent from embarrassment. Why? The taste of his name remained on my lips as if every syllable was imprinted on them. Malbonte. That's actually ridiculous, girl. It's just his name. It's a name. If you don't want to call him Malbonte, call him Bond. Like, what is this? It seemed he also wasn't expecting that I want to make him stay. Why? Think I want to burn your ass? I mean, I can burn your ass if you try to do something stupid, but I don't mind having you around. He turned around and looked inquiringly into my eyes. Yes. You... This is actually making me feel so frustrated. I I'll return your handkerchief. Don't. I don't want it back. He turned away again and took a step forward, but suddenly froze. War is dangerous to those who are filled with anger. Control yourself. I should control myself? Honestly, this man is actually testing my patience. Like, he encouraged the anger inside of me because he didn't give us clarity. He didn't give us any reassurance that he actually wanted to kiss us back then. And then she was so mad. And I'm pretty sure that that's a bit of rage that is still with her. So he kind of encouraged the rage we feel right now. Why should I control myself? So you need to be wary of him too. Malbonte came closer to me and slowly ran his eyes across the horizon, seeming to search for anyone that might be listening. And then he answered, but sluggishly, as if his tongue barely moved, not wanting to acknowledge the truth. That's true. Why? That's a sexy look. It looks like he's looking at us with intensity, you know. But if you're on their side, you have nothing to fear. Right? The fact we're just trying to make him acknowledge the fact that he's not on their side. This is so funny. He looked into my eyes for a long time and then silently returned his gaze to the horizon as if to say, I won't fall for your provocation. See? Oh, I love this. I love her right now. Like me. That's me. I think Plague is also affected by War's abilities. Perhaps they can influence each other in the same way as... Stop it. Malbonte. Why are you like this? What? You don't quite seem to understand what's between us. What do you mean? There were so many ways to interpret his words. I mean, that. And he surely didn't mean anything of the sort, but still it took my breath away and made my cheeks flush. I mean, I would be too. Same. Because if you have feelings for someone, you always think about the thing that pleases you the most. As in this moment, she actually thinks what's going on between us, as if in romantically, and he's definitely not talking about that. There's nothing between us. This is so funny. I'm not on your side. I'm on the Horsemen's. You shouldn't share that kind of information with an enemy. You've already been my enemy. I pursed my lips in annoyance. That. Thanks for the tip. You're lonely. Really? His face remained impassive, and his words sounded more like a statement, yet I felt he was waiting for an answer. I don't think my enemy needs to know that. But you asked for that line, Malbonte. For the first time, a slight smile appeared on his lips. You asked for that one. My eyes lingered on them for a moment before I sharply looked away, afraid that Malbonte would notice. I'm pretty sure he already noticed. You're a fast learner. Well done. I smiled back, not hiding my slightly childish joy at hearing his unexpected praise. You'll like this man. Acknowledge it. And again, I scolded myself for being unguarded. I behaved too openly around Malbonte, as if I subconsciously understood that nothing would happen to me because of it. You like this man. Like it's something that you do automatically. Like you do it out of feeling. You want to open up to him. You want to be close to him. So you automatically say what you actually feel. You don't feel wary of him. His cruelty would remain the same. He didn't need to target an enemy's weak points to destroy him. Malbonte had long since been disappointed by all living beings in the entire world, and as such, nothing could offend, surprise, or bother him. I mean, the only thing that could actually surprise him if you actually tell him that you like him as him. I think the only thing that Malbonte doesn't expect, since everyone just always expected the worst of him, that no one could actually love him. He wouldn't expect someone to tell him, I love you. He wouldn't. From what I can remember, we never told him, I love you. So if you would say I love you to Malbonte, I'm pretty sure he would be shook, as in surprised. On the other terms, I agree with, like, he has lived for so long, he has seen so many things, nothing can actually surprise him. He would accept me for who I was. Like I said. You became closer, thank you. He nodded almost imperceptibly, glancing for a moment at my trembling fingers, crumbling the handkerchief, and then headed back to the academy. I hate him. I breathed a sigh of relief. Being near him was painful, even though I didn't understand why. Because you're developing feelings. There were many possible reasons, but which one was the real one? You like him. I got up, straightened my clothes, and left my hiding place. Mimi immediately saw me. I noticed her impulse to come to me, but she restrained herself and said something to Sammy, who turned and gestured for me to come closer. Immortals stood outside the school gathering in a semicircle around Plague and War. What's going on? Plague is talking about some kind of tournament. Of course she is. Brother said he was pleased with your progress. I shuddered at the memory. Warren noticed my movement. He tilted his head as if trying to figure out what was wrong with me. I hesitated and moved a little to the side so that the other immortals would shield me from his interested gaze. Oh, he's looking at me. We've decided to reward you, so we came up with a series of tests. But don't think it will be easy. The tests are dangerous and many of you may die. Thank you for the warning. Thank you for the heads up. The one who gets to the end and wins will be free and will be allowed to leave the academy. For the first time, the news seemed good to the students. Many were inspired by the illusory hope of escaping from that prison, as if the Horsemen's tentacles couldn't reach them outside the academy. This is our chance. We won't be able to do it. We'll do it. What if we die? Then we die. It's not gonna hurt that much. No way. I won't let you die, Sammy. Addy. Addy lost you already once. Sammy's not gonna lose you again. He'd rather just put himself in front of the blade for you. Soon we'll announce the start of the tournament. In the meantime, you can stretch your muscles and train. Plague gave a suspiciously sly look and left with her brother. The immortals began to scatter, wanting to prepare, but they didn't even say what the task would be. Surely War will want to include a test of strength. Plague doesn't like combat. She'll come up with something more sophisticated. So we should train our bodies and minds. Your mind is beyond safe. Addie! So witty. Mimi hit Addie on the shoulder and headed towards the backyard. We followed her. And that was hilarious. Dan was among the trainees, as usual. He was training as hard as he could. Sweat dripped down his collar, leaving wet traces. His face was a little red and his chest heaved with every breath. I sat on a rock and watched Mimi, Sammy, and Addie join the training. Where are you sitting now? It's stupid to try to force something that isn't there. I'd rather just watch the others from the sidelines. Dino nodded, although it was clear that he didn't quite agree with my decision. Astaroth and Christopher were also stretching. Of course they would. Mimi rolled her eyes as the twins walked past her. And what are they doing here? Don't pay attention to them. You can bring characters together. The next choice will help you do this. I wonder who Mimi will fight with. With Christopher, with Addie, with Dino. I can bring characters together. I would want to spend a lot of time with Astaroth. With Dino. I don't know. I wouldn't mind talking with Christopher. You know what? Fight with Christopher. To my surprise, it actually happened. Christopher moved away from his brother and went to Mimi. I wouldn't mind fighting against Astaroth. Let Malbonte know what he's missing. At first she snapped at him and shooed him away as if testing his self-restraint. After all, she still belonged to him. He could make her. But instead Christopher said loudly enough to make her blush and make others pay attention to them. Uh-oh. Stop. He actually likes her? Okay, I was low-key shipping them. I was low-key shipping them. That's actually funny. What would have happened if I would have gone with Dino? I like you, Mimi. Don't be like that. Oh, you like me? What's next? You're gonna fall in love with me. If you keep on slaying, girl, everyone can fall in love with you. Well, don't take it too far. Look at his face. What's that expression? I just want to act normally around you. Aww, Christopher. And you're making it difficult. I mean, we're talking about Mimi. She folded her arms in front of her and finally turned away. Girl, don't be like that. As you wish. Christopher's response was subdued and lifeless, as if Mimi had severed the last thread connecting them. Mimi turned to him and, as if doing him a favor, said, Fine. She assumed a fighting stance in front of him, but I won't let you win. As if he would have expected you to do that. Christopher perked up and stood there looking at her. Well, I'm ready. I'm shipping them. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. They rushed towards each other. If I didn't know what was happening, I might have expected a lover's embrace to follow that. They moved like two wild beasts playing with each other. Okay. Shipping moment. But honestly, we gotta give a bit of applause for Mimi. Like, he's a hybrid. And she's capable to keep up with him. Like Mimi. Dang, girl. But not as adversaries, enemies, or those who hated each other. I watched Mimi and her smile with interest. She's enjoying fighting, Christopher. We're also shipping. We're also shipping in the corner over here. He in turn didn't take his eyes off her face, but something told me it wasn't for fear of missing a blow. Mimi and Christopher actually like each other. Yes. Oh my god, a new ship is coming true. Okay, so Mimi's also bi. I thought she was a lesbian. Alright, queen. Okay. We only have kings and queens in the story. Oh my god. Like, Addie was the bi king and Mimi's or bi queen. Yes. Christopher was faster, stronger, and more experienced than Mimi. It looked like he had been training for battle for a long time. But Mimi wielded the strongest weapon, her charm, yes! Realizing that she was losing, she jumped on Christopher, wrapped her legs around his waist, and pressed her lips to his cheek. I am weak. It wasn't a kiss. It was a blow to the heart. Yes, Christopher staggered with a lost expression on his face and only came to his senses when Mimi jumped off him and snapped her fingers. I am weak. You know what? Use your charm, girl. Use it. I won. Yes, Mimi. She won. Christopher, take the notes. You don't play with her. He smiled at her. That's right. Not the eyes. Okay, you know, I low-key always thought that she always enchanted him with her charm as some sort of part of her power, that she enchanted him so that he would leave her alone and literally just do whatever she wants. But no, he actually likes her. That's actually, I like this. I'm shipping them. My attention was drawn away by War coming out of the school. He walked slowly as if he was just out for a stroll. Maybe I should spend time with him? Is that even a question? I'll do that. You are getting closer to war. Do I have any other choice? Like Malbonte, my baby Malbonte is literally just shitting on me, so I have to find some other way of amusement. Let me stop. But, right now, he's not really budging, so I'm just gonna try to get rid of my loneliness, I guess. I mean, we are literally just sitting there watching everyone train and have a good time together, and we must be feeling so incredibly lonely. Let's spend some time with war, if the one we are into doesn't give us the time of day. I quietly followed the horsemen, mentally praying that no one was paying attention to who I was going to. War stepped onto the field where the competition would likely take place. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. He stopped and so did I. I tried not to breathe and not to move so that he wouldn't notice me. What, do you just want to follow him, not talk to him at all? I wanted to form a plan for our conversation and collect my thoughts before he started talking. Are you following me? Yes. He didn't even turn around. He doesn't have to. I'm pretty sure he can sense your presence. No, that is... I love the outfit. Sorry. I sense the approach of death. Damn! Can you hear it? He inhaled the air noisily as if sniffing a perfume to recognize the notes at its heart. It smells like blood. Finally, he deigned to look at me over his shoulder like those adjectives that they keep on throwing out. He deigned to look at me as if I'm some lowly insect. Will you participate? I don't think you want to see me participate, War. Do I have a choice? That I wouldn't want to participate. No. Damn. Well, why do you ask then? He smiled like that was a funny detail. That is a pity I can't compete. I do great, don't you think? You literally would be massacring. You would be creating a massacre without even trying. Like, just running to the finish line like a bulldozer. I imagine him being literally that insanely talented and powerful. As if to confirm his words, he began to stretch his back, leaning first to one side, then to the other. His muscles stood out clearly beneath the sun's pale rays. They outlined his arms, chest, and shoulder blades. I wanted to run my hand over them to see if they were actually made of flesh and not of steel, as they seemed at first glance. I shook my head, discarding the unnecessary line of thought, and moved closer to him. I feel better around you than with plague. Oddly enough, it's true, but I immediately looked at him, a little nervously checking his reaction. Damn, what if that's not a compliment to the horsemen? They love the suffering of others. War only smiled. He smiled? This is a feature of my power. Hatred should be attractive. What? Since when is hatred attractive? He looked at me. Nobody wants to be torn apart by his feeling willingly, right? What about desperation? I'm sorry, I love the outfit. I love the look I gave her. This bear cannot be controlled. Why you gotta call me out like that? It overcomes you when there's no way out. But you can always choose whether or not to hate. There was a logic in his words, but he sounded so sad, like there was a catch. Except you can choose. Hate sustains you, and you have to feed on it to live. His eyes flashed in satisfaction with my response. His smile became wider, his attention more focused on my face. You're the first human I've spoken to for this long. Well, thanks. It seems to me that you didn't understand us, but I was wrong. Maybe I should have let you closer before. Ooh! Then you'd become attached to us and you wouldn't be able to kill us. I don't know what that means. He says with that cookie grin. He spoke seriously, but his eyes continued to laugh. I don't have time. I need to get closer to him. This is my chance. Kiss him or end the walk. Now, here's the thing. I don't think he's a love interest, but I have the feeling something's gonna go wrong if I go for the kiss. But since he's not a love interest, technically I could go for it because Malbonte right now is pushing me away as much as he can. The only thing that happened is that beautiful, romantic, and passionate kiss that he tried to brush under the rug as soon as he could. And then I also have Lucifer because I am a player. And honestly, this would only create chaos. So you all know what I'm gonna do, right? I know I'm gonna regret this. I know I'm gonna regret this. Oh my god. I stood on my toes and touched his lips. Uh-oh. 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 Can I run away? Can I turn back? He squeezed my shoulder and abruptly pulled me away from him. Uh-oh. He did it so effortlessly that War held me up off the ground without even tensing his muscles. Like a kitten by the collar. What was that? Mistake! Can I run away? He touched his lips with his fingers, then looked at them as if he expected to see blood. He clung to his wrist, trying to relieve the pressure of my own weight. He continued to hold me with one hand. Has anyone ever kissed you before? I've had intercourse with women. Oh my god, no, look at his face. Look at his face. He seems shattered. I grimaced, not entirely sure if it was from the pain or his choice of words. War put me on the ground and stared at my lips. I felt embarrassed by his gaze. I feel completely embarrassed. Why do you kiss? It's how we express our feelings. And also, it feels nice. Have you slept with women from our world or your own? Both. You... Alright then. Are there many like you and Plague in your world? Or the rest are more primitive creatures. They don't have any powers, but they don't age. And they live forever. They're like empty shells. They don't need to be kissed. Don't they have feelings? I've never asked. This entire situation here. I laughed. You can't be that heartless. We speak different languages, Simona. You know my name. The smile. Why are you smiling, girl? I took a step forward, feeling my heart pounding in my throat. Do you want to know how it feels to kiss? He looked at my lips again. I have the feeling I started something I can't finish. Again. I gasped softly as Worrell leaned over and almost bumped into me clumsily and roughly. I started something I can't finish, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. I started something I can't finish, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god. I did not think that I know I'm gonna die. I have the feeling I'm gonna have to replay the episode. Oh my god, I think I started something. I have the feeling I started something, but his picture is so beautiful. I whispered to him, barely moving away. You need to be gentle like this. I parted his lips and gently slid my tongue inside. Oh my god, I started something I can't finish. Okay, we're gonna see each other at the other end of the line. He froze but didn't stop me. War soon responded to my movements. I could feel him trying to be careful, not out of excessive tenderness, but because of his inexperience. I'm sorry, so he had intercourse without kissing? Sir! See if I'm kissing a horseman. This is a dangerous road! Yeah, I literally... People, I hate myself. Why am I like this? You all knew I was gonna go with this one. And now I have the feeling that I started something I can't finish. Oh, God. He straightened up, interrupting our contact, and gave me a strange look. Look at this picture. Oh, my God. His look was inquiring and somewhat suspicious, as if I had discovered some part of his soul, and he was trying to figure out what I'd do with the information. You became closer. Oh, God. Oh, God. I started something I can't finish. Hatred cannot coexist with these feelings. With what feelings? He abruptly stood back and again looked at the field. I hope my instincts don't deceive me and someone will die today. Die burning with rage. Damn! His words made me feel uneasy. War is shutting me out. I shouldn't push it. You better prepare for the tournament, human. You're right, master. After the kiss, this could sound a little, this could have two definitions. I bowed without even looking at him and hurried back to the school. I started something I can't finish. Oh, I hate myself. The training ended and everyone gathered in the yard again. War and Plague stood a little further away behind Gerald and surveyed the crowd. Whispers of excitement were interrupted by the teacher's words. The tournament will involve several stages. For the first task, you will be divided into teams. War suddenly interrupted without hiding the pleasure in his voice. Only those teams that manage to complete it will go on to the second round, and then it will be a free-for-all. It looks like we were right. The first task was planned by Plague, the second by War. A servant approached Plague and whispered something in her ear. She straightened up, pleased, and said, yes, I completely forgot. We have a new addition. She looked at me and smiled conspiratorially. Why? But the smile abruptly faded as she gave the instruction. Bring him in. What? What? Several servants led the immortal by the arm. Chains rattled on his leg. It's... Donnie! What is this? I immediately recognized him despite his frightened, tired face, which he tried to keep lowered while he was being dragged to the horseman's feet. Plague grabbed him by the hair and pulled him back so everyone could see who stood before us. He managed to escape, the guardian of the Earth's Eye. Oh my God, but it's not so easy to hide from us. She pushed him into the crowd. Addie and Sammy tried to catch him. Donnie's cheek barely hit the ground. You will also participate in the tournament. If my sister is done, we'll announce the teams. War nodded to Gerald. Dino, Asteroid, Christopher, Lilu, Osty, Michael, you're together. Oh, Osty. I leaned over to Donnie, helping him up. My stomach twisted guiltily. I didn't think about him. I didn't think about his fate. I thought that since he wasn't here, he must be fine. Oh, Sifa, what if he died? How are you? Can you stand? Donnie wiped the blood from his mouth with the back of his hand. He'd taken a hit after all, and the shackles prevented his body from quickly regenerating. I'm fine. Damn. He ran a hand through his hair and closed his eyes. Freaking settlements. They report every stranger passing by out of fear. How did you manage to get out? I was warned about Plague before she arrived at the academy. By whom? I don't know. They left a note. It burned away as soon as I read it. The order? But why did Plague bring you here? His lips pursed as he threw a quick glance in the direction of the horseman. "The I only obeys its guardian." "Yeah. It will only open the other two others if I die or renounce it. That is weird that she didn't kill you." Eddie. I mean, Sammy, I get your point, but I don't think that Eddie meant it in a mean way. He was just stating a fact. Like, it's, if the Earth's eye only listens to its guardian, then why didn't she kill you? That's not her style. She likes to play. Like a cat with a mouse before it closes its jaws on its victim's neck. Oh, Sif, I hope Donnie doesn't die today. It looks like I've missed a lot. So you became the guardian? Oh, on what grounds? Addie! Well, you were rotten and non-existent. I am so weak. What is with all this beef coming from everyone? Well, you were rotten and non-existent. The world changed. The unclaimed gain access to the same opportunities as you. Enough. Now is not the time for bickering. I touched Donnie's shoulder. You should renounce it. Honestly, why do I have to pick either one of them? Honestly, I would just tell him, do whatever you think is right. He's his own person. If he says he's gonna renounce it, then he's gonna renounce this. If he says I'm gonna keep on playing this, then let him do it. I mean, if he renounces it, he's gonna stay alive. But now, let's be honest, she's not gonna keep you alive just because you're not the keeper anymore. So, you know what? Maintain your power over the eye. You worked so hard for it. Composure. He pursed his lips even tighter and shrugged as if his own thoughts were giving him chills. Then I should win the tournament and leave, or I'll get killed. You won't die, Donnie. We turned at the sound of Gerald's voice announcing our names. Mimi, Eddie, Sammy, Simona, Lucifer, Donnie, next team. Oh, Lucifer. Almost everyone seems to be participating. I don't know about you, but I want to win this tournament. Everyone wants to. Mimi said that with apprehension, looking around at the other immortals' grim expressions. The tournament won't be easy. Once everyone had been divided into teams, Plague stepped forward, enthusiastically brought her palms together and shouted, "Let us begin." Do I have to be here? Really now? We were led to a sitting room I'd never been to before. It was on the highest floor at the very end of the hallway and had remained in a state of neglect until that moment. Lucifer appeared near the door like a ghost. As soon as we entered, the lock clicked, cutting off the way back. We stared at the closed door, not knowing what to do next. Lucifer silently walked to the sofa. I don't understand the point. We can leave through a window or door. No one took away our powers. I couldn't hold back a wry laugh, and Addie immediately smiled apologetically. Lucifer sat down, spreading his arms across the back of the sofa, threw his legs on the coffee table, and lazily answered, Then we'll get disqualified. What's unclear about that? But the horsemen didn't say anything about it. It's implied. Lucifer, stop being like that. So we need to find another way. You're smart. Lucifer! What's this? I moved Lucifer's leg to the side, under which lay a note. What's it say? It will hurt when you find me, but be patient. A riddle? Oh, but of course, what would we do without a riddle? Addie. He actually reminds me of season 2. When Fidero gave us that strange riddle to be able to free Bond from the tower. Me. That was me. What would we do without a riddle? There is something hidden here, but how do we know where to look? Let's split up. I'll look... You know what? I'll look on the left. I'm with you. Then we'll look on the right. Mimi and I went and searched every inch but found nothing. You failed to understand the message and didn't find the next clue. What is that supposed to mean? Anxiety began to build inside me, but Donnie suddenly screamed, recoiling from the fireplace. Found it, damn. Where? How am I supposed to know where the damn fireplace is? Donnie shook his burned hand and threw a note that had miraculously survived in the flames of the fireplace on the table. I unfolded the note and eagerly read it. It shines early in the morning and late at night. Your sister. It shines early in the morning and late at night. The sun and the moon? I mean, it's supposed to be one single thing. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's about the moon. What else shines at night? Stars. Light. And the sister is the sun. Sounds logical. No, that doesn't quite fit. The note is talking about one thing. Yes, me though. Something that shines both day and night. Well, I mean light. It would have to be light because the sun shines brightly. It creates light. And the sun illuminates the dark at night. You can see the moon during the day too. And what's up with the sister? Who's it about? Questions started to come from all sides. We began arguing, dismissing each other's ideas until our nervous voices blended together. Meanwhile, Lucifer silently got up, walked over to the painting and pushed it aside. He knows everything. Everyone fell silent, staring at the demon. How did you know? He knows. He smiled wryly and returned to his original place. It shines early in the morning and late at night. It's about a heavenly body. Venus. And what does a painting have to do with that? Botticelli, The Birth of Venus. Haven't you heard of it? No. Donnie rolled his eyes. Safer. Why would I know about the works of some mortal? Of course. Mimi raised her hand, cutting off further arguments. Thank you. And what about the sister? Venus used to be called Lucifer. That is the light bearer. Oh. All right. We remember Lucifer as season 2 where Linda told him the definition of his name, where he's like, you were once called Samael the light bringer. Who would have known that your name means that? It's old angelic. I can't with anything that's going on right now. Who gave you that name? His mother, I would think. He angrily snapped, not even looking at me. It's none of your business. His mom. Hey, look. The painting depicting Venus hid a secret safe. Sammy pulled several huge eggs out of it. There's more. Where did they come from? They're heavy. They're from sea dragons. But they're hollow inside, otherwise we wouldn't be able to lift them. That's how their energy works to protect their offspring. There are 6 of them like us, so an egg for each of us. But what are we supposed to do with them? Addy took one from me, turned it in his hands and tossed it to Lucifer. He caught it and set it on the pillow next to him. The energy, do you feel it? We each have our own. Just like the eggs, we need to find the egg that matches our energy and break its shell. That sounds simple. And what is with the person that doesn't have any energy at all anymore? They can't be broken by physical force, only by an immortal's power. We don't have one anymore. I don't see a problem. Hello? Addy grabbed an egg. Addy grabbed an egg. His eyes went red with concentration. Soon the egg began to tremble and then cracked as it shattered. There's a note inside, but nothing is written on it. That's intentional. The message will appear when all the eggs have been broken and all the notes are put together. Then the rest of you should do the same. No less time. We have a problem. Donnie jerked his leg, drawing attention to his shackles. Yeah. That's not a problem. You must have Residual energy. It should be enough. Just... Hello. Thank you. Finally, someone looking at me. I don't have powers anymore. How am I supposed to break anything? They turned in my direction. I plopped into a chair, shaking my head in annoyance. I no longer have any power. Not even a drop. What if someone else breaks her egg? It's supposed to break through someone's personal energy. Then we'll be disqualified. Don't you think you know too much for a regular participant, Addie? You should thank me. Otherwise, you end up sitting in the stands with the rest of the losers who've lost their last hope. Weirdo. Addie hates Lucifer so much after he killed our father. I'm so weak. Girls love me too much for me to be a weirdo. Right, Lucifer. I hate that he's right. But no, you know what? Right now I hate you, Lucifer. Shut up. But you wouldn't understand. Oh! Shut up already. Let me think. I'm sorry for setting us up to fail. There must be another way. I'll still try to break the egg. It's mine. You're right. Strength, that's nice. We have no choice. I mean, if we can't break, why set up something that mortals without powers can do? I have to do it somehow. We have no choice. Mimi gave everyone an egg. Let's do it together. Her egg was pink. Lucifer's was red. I want the red one. And Sammy's was sky-colored. Yes, and mine was completely white, blank. There was an orange shell at Addie's feet. Mimi handed me the last egg. Mine is orange? Black. Just like the darkness that swirled in Malbonte's eyes. The darkness that filled me to the brim and then poured back into his hands, leaving behind only soot. That's what my energy was like. Impenetrable darkness. Yikes! The others looked at the egg with fascination and apprehension, and only Lucifer made no secret of his distaste. Maybe it's good that Malbonte's power has left you. Except that her energy will never be cleansed of that filth. Oh, thank you, Lucifer. Enough. That doesn't matter anymore. Addie, how did you break it? There are a lot of ways. I let a stream of energy pass through the shell of the egg. Anyone can do it. Nope. Mimi and Sammy used the same trick, and moment later, they each had a nut in their hands as empty as Addie's. Lucifer set his egg on fire. He burned his egg. It burned in his hand. The fire burst from his palm and immediately enveloped his skin as if seeking vengeance for its own freedom. But Lucifer couldn't be burned by his own energy. Honestly, Lucifer is psychotic. He said, I'm gonna burn this egg. Soon the shell could not withstand the high temperature. In an instant, the entire egg was covered with dozens of cracks. Then Lucifer squeezed it, and all that remained in his hand were a piece of paper and eggshell dust. So Lucifer. This man is psychotic. Donnie froze the egg and broke it like a crystal vase. The shattered pieces cracked under his feet as he walked to get his part of the invincible message. He wiped the sweat off his forehead and exhaled heavily. That was hard. Donnie collapsed on the sofa next to Lucifer. His hands were trembling. I think I need some rest. Don't try to use your powers again. You'll only injure your body. You're practically human now. I'm human, just immortal. Do you enjoy being insignificant? Thank you, Lucifer. Not being hard on me at all. Shut up. Or what? Lucifer, really? Lucifer spoke calmly, even warily. His words didn't carry hatred, aggression, or the desire to truly offend. And yet Donnie shook with indignation. Lucifer, stop it. Mimi turned to me. Come on, Simona, it's your turn. I closed my eyes and sighed. What did Gerald say? It takes concentration. I imagined that there was no one next to me. The immortals disappeared and the room disappeared. All that remained was the egg in my hands and a small black cloud of concentration. What? And a small black cloud of concentrated energy that swirled in me, ready to dry up from the slightest strain. Donnie lost his power recently, but I had been drained for months, so there was nothing left. But I felt it. I felt the darkness inside me, nourishing my bones, veins, and tendons, flowing in my blood, beating along with my heart. I just needed to borrow a little more. Even though Plague took Malbonte's power, I was still immortal, and that still had meaning. My palms became so cold that they hurt. I wanted to let go of the shell, but I restrained myself. I squeezed the shell harder. My body began to tremble and my head began to spin, but I continued to squeeze until the shell gave away and cracked. My hands immediately dropped limp. I might have lost consciousness for a moment. Nice. Hey, how are you? I slowly opened my eyes. Me, I'm fine. Mimi, Sammy, and Addie bent over me in concern. I love these friends. I'm fine. Rest, you should feel better. It feels like you overdid it at the gym, right? I smiled weakly. Only he and I knew what a gym was. Humans. I was human once. Done. Addie came up to us with the assembled pieces of puzzle. The fragments came together as if they had always been one. Letters began to appear on the paper. An angel must fall at the hands of a demon. Evil always wins. Then you too will win. Nice. An angel must fall at the hands of a demon. Everyone fell silent and froze looking at each other. Lucifer chuckled softly. What else would you expect from her? Donnie and Sammy, one of them had to die. Nice. I looked around and tried to make sure I wasn't the only one who felt that horror. And who should we choose? Lucifer living right now. I am weak. Lucifer, please. Maybe you. Oh, hell no. Stay away from Sammy. His palm flared with fire as he looked at Sam. You literally are pushing my buttons, Lucifer. That! You don't touch Sammy! That! Eddie lunged at Lucifer, grabbing for his throat. Lucifer didn't even flinch or try to avoid him. He simply looked into Eddie's burning eyes, laughter dancing in his own. Is this man for real? He's actually amused by this? We won't touch them. Understood. Addie. Save your anger for Blake. Lucifer won't touch Sammy. He will not touch Sammy. How do you know? He probably wants to crawl out from under Blake's skirts. I just know, that's all. Just try touching Sammy. Me. Lucifer appreciates your understanding. My understanding? Actually, this was me just defending Sammy. Like, you don't touch Sammy. My understanding, as saying that I understood that he wouldn't hurt him. I mean, we know that Lucifer likes to provoke, so technically you can't really believe anything he says right now. We need to solve this together. Voluntarily. There's no need to panic. It was like I was trying to soothe my own anguish. Eddie. Nope. Not an option, Sammy. Not an option. Sammy grabbed the demon's shoulders, moving him away from Lucifer. Someday I'll kill him, I promise. Addie. The whole time, Donnie sat off to the side, thinking about something. When everyone fell silent again, he raised his voice. It says that an angel must fall, but not die. I know, Plague. If you pretend that one of you lost in battle, the door won't open. You'll lose. You? Aren't we on the same team? We'll never be on the same team, Lucifer. But we can fight to the death. What do you mean? If we don't have the intent to kill. During a fight, the desire to win always sparks an intent to kill. It's subconscious. then you can't just kill without a fight or a real intention, and the person will come around. Whoever does won't go to the next test. They'll lose. That's what Plague wants. She's creating chaos and eliminating at least one member from each team. So you just have to accept failure. It'll be me. Nah, Sammy. It's me. I already lost you once, Sammy. Why are you like this? What? No. Don is the guardian of the eye. He needs to be given a chance to escape and leave the Horsemen empty-handed. So that leaves me. Addie clenched his fists, trying to keep from shaking. It's not fair. In this situation, it is. Sammy's way too pure. He's way too pure. Sammy kissed Addie on the... My two children. Why is always Sammy the one getting the short end of the stick? Lightly, barely touching him. See you soon. He turned to Lucifer and nodded. No. Safa. We're all sad. Lucifer shot forward and was next to Sammy in an instant, and then the demon broke his neck. Nice. The angel fell to the floor unconscious. He better be unconscious. I turned away, not wanting to see the expression on his face. I remembered the way he looked back then when I knew he wouldn't wake up again. Yes, that's trauma. Addie fell to his knees, placed Sammy's head on his lap, and stroked his forehead. We all love a concerned boyfriend. I'm always taking the fall for your kindness. That got dark real fast. The lock clicked and the door opened. Did we win? I would say yes. Pike came out to us, respectfully folding his hands behind his back as usual. Those who leave the room will advance to the second round. He stepped aside, letting us into the hallway. We walked towards the exit, but turned when we realized that there were too few of us. Addie, aren't you coming? He shook his head without taking his eyes off Sammy. Yeah, I don't think that he wants to leave. Without him, there's no point in winning. Go ahead and kick everyone's ass. If none of you win your freedom, I'll personally strangle you. That's a real friend. Alright. Lucifer, what about you? I don't think he's gonna leave with his mom being here. He continued to sit on the sofa watching Sammy and Addie. No. But why? Lucifer turned his head towards us and slowly, barely moving his lips, said, Because victory won't bring me freedom. Yes! Plague has his mother! Even if he wins, he can leave and the mom is still here. You have to go. Pike closed the door, breaking our line of sight with Lucifer. My child Lucifer. The stands roared, greeting the winners of the first round. Dino, Lilo, Asti, Astaroth, and Christopher were already waiting for the others. There were others among them barely familiar to me. A lot of immortals have been weeded out. Plague sat with her legs crossed and looked at us from afar with a grin. With her vision, she probably noticed the slightest emotion on our faces. Where are the others? Dino turned around at the sound of my voice. They didn't pass. He said it so intently that I knew something was wrong. What happened? There have been disputes on many teams. They couldn't decide who should be sacrificed, so they ended up killing each other. They didn't realize that you didn't have to kill for real. That was a mess. People, why am I like this? Honestly, though, it's a normal thing that happens. If you are so desperate to get your freedom, you're willing to do everything, okay? There was a massacre. Dino looked at Plague, not hiding his rage that you chose... What was his name? Michael. He didn't mind. He was afraid to go the second round. Who knows what will happen here? She smiled strangely, as if that secret had already been revealed to her. Gerald stepped out onto a gleaming walkway not far from the field. Reminiscent of a catwalk? Or a bowling lane, and announced in a rumbling voice. The second road is a race with obstacles. Whoever reaches the goal first wins. You can't use your wings. With those words, servants standing silently behind the participants took a step forward holding golden cords. They tied our wings so tightly that we couldn't move them. You can disarm opponents and even kill them, of course. I mean, why not? They all love killing. Gerald looked at War, who nodded, pleased. War. Shows what you're capable of. The trumpets roared deafeningly. Addie, Sammy, making their way into the audience, sat down. Sammy's awake. Oh, we love it. Addie jumped up and, cupping his hands around his mouth, shouted, Let's go, girls. Break the... Addie, Addie is Addie is our cheerleader. We love it. Woohoo! Mimi raised her fist, laughing at her friend's antics. You're crazy. We loved this friend group. The participants took their positions. I need to try not to die, to show what I can do even without any powers. To think strategically. You know what? Always think strategically. They'll use their powers to get past obstacles and outrun the competition. I need to take note of their action and see how I can use them to my advantage. I'll show the strongest contestant without drawing their attention. Again, an ear-piercing sound penetrated into our very bones. The participants took off. I tried to keep up with the others but couldn't, just like Donnie. Our endurance had decreased noticeably, and the shackles weighed down our legs. I'm going to die now. He was clutching his chest as if touching it might encourage his heart. I grabbed his hand and shouted, trying to drown out the roar of the spectators. We've only just begun. Come on, get moving. First we ran uphill, then downhill, the course seemingly designed to exhaust us. And the more speed I picked up, almost beginning to slide down the hill, the bigger the wall separating us from the other obstacles looked. Oh my god. It was impossible to climb over it. Only flying would work, but that option had been taken from us. What should I do? Christopher reached down, and a thick, twisting root rose up out of the earth. Nice! He was about to climb it, but Mimi quickly appeared in front of him. Well, hello. Mimi. I love this. Are they actually teasing each other in this tournament? I am weak. I love the choice I made. She touched his cheek, whispering something in his ear, and pulled away, looking into his eyes with a slight smile. Thanks for your help. She's enchanting him. Oh, I am weak. She deftly jumped onto the root, climbed as high as possible, and then jumped over to the other side of the wall. Christopher came to his senses and shook his head, righting himself off the last remnants of her glamour, and laughed. Then he hasted after Mimi. I am weak. I love this so much. As soon as he jumped from the plant, it immediately began crumbling into dust. I reached into a couple of seconds too late. Damn. I'll help. Dino touched the wall, causing a vibration similar to what Addie had done with the egg, only much more powerful. The wall cracked until a few bricks caved in and a hole formed. You're a damned idiot, Dino. Lilo slipped past us, darted into the hole, and rushed ahead. No, wait. She's become so vicious. We have to hurry. I need to stop her. Stop her? But from what? Dino helped me climb over, but he never answered my question. He ran after Lilu. What is her plan? Hold up. They said that you can kill. Is she planning on killing someone? You don't want her to win and leave? Nah, I don't think that's it. They have been fighting for so many chapters already. There were other tests ahead of me. Oh my god. Say hello to the lava. There was a crack in the ground ahead, filled with seething lava. Donnie's power would be more than welcome right about now. Yeah, Many mortals simply jumped over it, and even if they touched the hot mixture, they instantly regenerated. I didn't have that luxury. I need to think. Wait for someone to pass through the lava and follow them. Run up and jump over. Cross using the rocky islands. That's gonna take so much time. Run up and jump over it. Run up and jump over it. I don't know. Maybe I can make it? I moved away from the edge, bent my knees, and exhaled, trying to concentrate. 1, 2, 3. I ran forward as fast as I could, and then I bushed off. Heat rolled over my face. I clumsily waved my arms and legs, trying to propel my body across the crag, but it was all in vain. Nice! The fiery mist consumed my flesh and bones like hungry monsters as I screamed in hellish pain. I am weak. Cross using the rocky island? I took a closer look and noticed floating stones scattered in the lava. They looked like they might tip over from my weight, but there was no other option. I'll risk it. Nice. Let me just fall into it all over again. I waited for the first stone to float past, and then I jumped. For a moment, everything swayed and spun like I was about to fall. My heart sank and a cry caught in my throat. What should I do? Hold still? I stretched my hands out to the side, crouched lower, and froze. The stones swayed a few more times and stopped. Phew, why aren't they melting? Surely someone created these to get across. I waited for the next stone. Quickly. As soon as I stepped foot on the hard surface, I jumped to the next one, and so on until the danger was behind me. I fell to the ground and tried to catch my breath. My body was trembling, covered in sweat. I was afraid to turn around, afraid to imagine the pain that would have awaited me if I'd fallen and plunged into that hell. I already fell into it with the first choice I made. Time was slipping through my fingers. The other mortals had gotten too far for me to hope of winning, and yet I had to try. Many more surprises were ahead, the earth disappearing from under my feet, traps with sharp tips that burst out of the ground intended to impale their victims. Other mortals trying to take me out of the game. I ran so fast that I hardly realized how many dangers I avoided by chance, luck, and resourcefulness. I looked ahead and saw the backs of those who would reach the finish line ahead of me. Just a little more. I felt a blow. A sharp jolt of pain gradually began to throb. Everything swam before my eyes. I could only see a red spot, as if I were looking at the sun with my eyes closed. I blinked, smearing blood on my face, and turned around in confusion. Astaroth stood without moving, turned slightly as if he wanted to run away. His gaze was cruel, unemotional. You can't go any further. And why is that? Why? What are you doing? I backed away and Astaroth approached. You can't win. And why is that? I'm glad you believe that. I spat out those words in an angry, mocking tone, hiding my fear behind it. But he could tell. He grabbed me by my clothes and lifted me so that our faces were level. Sir, what's wrong with you now? Path of strength? Yes! Path of strength. That's the only thing that works with this man. Do you want to kill me? Come on, do it! I looked straight into his eyes, showing that I wasn't afraid of him or death. He lowered his hand and laughed. You'd think so, wouldn't you? Sir, are you attracted to me, or do you want to kill me? Like, I know between hate and love is such a small string, but sir, don't act all bipolar. What do you want? To knock the arrogance out of you. Of course you want. Try it. Malbonte already tried. You look at me like I'm beneath you, like you still have power. Hey, I have the power. But it's not like that anymore. Why? You know, these people that actually are mad at you for having a personality. Like, I believe in myself. I believe that I can do anything I put my mind to. And everyone around you just being jealous because of that personality trait you have. And they just keep on trying to bring you down so much. Sir, why are you so obsessed with me? Why are you so obsessed with the fact that I believe that I am worth something? Why are you so obsessed with me? But it's not like that anymore. He said it with a snarl, but his eyes remained calm. It seemed to me that he was just playing for time and didn't believe what he was saying. Why do you need me dead? Astaroth shook his head, either with disappointment or weariness. I couldn't kill you even if I wanted to. It's forbidden. Forbidden? He looked at the obstacle course and at those who were approaching the finish line and said, I think that's enough. You won't be able to make it. And then he ran forward as if the obstacles were entertainment for him and he wasn't even trying to escape Plague's clutches. I brushed myself off, watching him. You can't kill me because Plague forbids it, but why? I kept on his heels. Astaroth didn't even bother to destroy the path he made, allowing those lagging behind to take advantage of it. Because he already knows that we're not going to be capable to, win. Because he already held us off for far too long. Holding us off means that we can't escape from here and also not escape from Plague. So I'm pretty sure he was asked to hold us off from winning so that we couldn't escape. The trumpet sounded again, announcing that the tournament was over and there was a winner. I left the field and walked in the opposite direction to where Christopher was standing. Even from afar, I saw him wave his hand and smile. I bet he won't leave the school even if he has the chance. Unexpectedly, Lilo went after Christopher. Sorry. She walked forward with strange, unpredictable steps. He recoiled and staggered, shouting something in response to her attack. Her attack? She wants to kill him? Lilo, no. Dino ran past me. What's going on? Are you that dense? I hurried after him. Lilo tried to attack Christopher again, but he jumped aside just in time. A weak white ball of energy flew past where he'd been standing and hit a tree, burned through the bark. What's wrong with you? Christopher didn't attack. He only defended himself, but that didn't stop Lilo. He must die. No, he does not. She screamed almost in a frenzy and released several blasts of energy. Are you crazy? With each new release of energy, her hands shook more. Lilo had used nearly all of the little strength she had left, but it was enough for one wild blow thrown in a fit of desperation to reach the target. What is this? Christopher fell, clutching his burned ankle. It can all be over if you die. What you mean? And why is she crying? Lilo drew back for another blow. Stop it! I was running, watching it all from afar. Astaroth threw a red ball of energy right at Lilo's back. Thank you, Astaroth. No, yes. Girl, you don't go around killing people you don't like. I want Plague to die as well, but no one sees me trying to attack her anymore. But Dino lunged and pushed her aside before it struck them. Are you kidding me, Dino? Honestly, Karma is gonna get her. Karma is gonna get her. They fell to the ground. Astaroth ran up to his brother, helped him up, and turned to Dino and Lilo. You're both dead. Astaroth, I get that you would want Lilo dead, but why Dino? He didn't do anything. Lilo lay on the ground motionless. Tears ran over her temples. Plague and War were approaching us, but not in a hurry. Surely Plague hoped that Astaroth would finish them off personally. I fell to my knees next to Lilo and tried to help her up, but she just shook her head and whispered, No, there's no need for that. I liked how you made a fuss. You acted foolishly. That was reckless. I know. Astaroth took a step, but Dino blocked his way. Stay away. Why did she do that? She's not herself. I'll explain everything. Punishment instead. Why? You did not do anything wrong. But Astaroth, like I said, I'm feeling Astaroth. Why the hell would we need you if she was the one who tried to kill my brother? He turned to Christopher. Why didn't you defend yourself? I mean that. What, was I supposed to kill her? No, but I don't know. Maybe just defend yourself as well with your powers, like she still burned your ankle. And you didn't even consider the possibility, Astaroth. I mean, it would have been justice. She tried to kill him, he tries to kill her. Lilo squeezed my hand and pulled me towards her. I leaned closer and then she whispered in my ear, "It should be killed, not protected by a stone. I'd like a stone too, you know." "What do you mean?" She laughed softly. "What are you talking about?" "There are many of us. We won't give up." Lilo pressed her hand to her chest. Another tear rolled down her temple. A bright light shot out of her hand, instantly burning through her chest. Nice, so she killed herself. I screamed. No. Dino rushed to her body, but of course she was already dead. The horseman appeared next to us. "I told you we needed her alive." "What?" You've fed enough when she fought Christopher. And I'm supposed to go without supper? Oh, because of the hate she was carrying inside? The moments before death are so beautiful, especially when you have to kill yourself. Plague licked her lips. I wanted her to spare to last forever. Dino held Lilo close to him, her head hung limply back. Plague looked at him. Everything we need we'll find in his little head. What? Oh no, Dino. War grabbed Dino's shoulder and threw him back with a powerful "Do not touch my son, War!" Dino hit a tree and collapsed unconscious. The trunk broke in half on impact. Nah, what is this? What is this entire episode? Okay, first I started something with War. I mean, I did myself dirty here. I don't have to blame anyone but myself. Malbonte trying to show that he cares by giving us his handkerchief. But he's still insanely closed off. Like, he's not letting us in. And we barely saw him. Like, we only saw him when he gave us that handkerchief. Lucifer being iconic as well. But some comments he did were a little out of place, but it's fine. He didn't intend to kill Sammy. Sammy is fine. So, we love you, Lucifer. We know you're a good person. And I paired up Mimi and Christopher, apparently. And Astaroth wanting to knock the self-confidence out of me. Like, keep on trying, sir. And I don't even know what to say at this point. Lilo going after Christopher and trying to kill him. And then her killing herself because she didn't make it. And now they want something from Dino as well. Like, all these plot twists, I can't anymore. I'm actually a little worried about the next episode. Because what do they want from Dino? What do they want from his memory? I'm actually thinking the entire time about what Lilo said. She said she also wants someone to protect her. Like, what does that even mean? Are we protected from Plague's minions because she has claimed us as her pet? Like, what is this? But yeah, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.